One moment, one choice, and everything changes. What if Kion never got his scar? No journey to the Tree of Life. No Ascari. No Rani. The Lion Guard's future. Rewritten. The Pride Lands. Forever changed. Without his scar, Kion never left home. He was there when Zira attacked. He was there when Kiara went on her first hunt. But was that really a good thing? Everything we know would be different, but not in a good way. It was the final battle, and Kion and his guard just entered the volcano to face Scar's evil spirit. But Scar had a plan. He had instructed Ushari to bite Kion in the eye, but this time, he misses. Bunga sees Ushari coming and grabs him to defend Kion. The Scar never happens, and Kion still got to defeat Scar's evil spirit. You might think that this is a good thing, because Kion now doesn't get Ushari's venom in his body, so he won't lose control of knowing what is wrong and right. But this actually changes the whole Lion King story. Because to begin with, he would probably have never left the Pride Lands, which means he would have been there for Kiara's first hunt, which means he would have been there when Zira started her attacks. Zira knew from a long time ago that Kion was strong. She had already tried to talk him over to her side, because she had learned from when Scar was still alive how powerful the roar could be. But Kion, of course, didn't want to move over to Zira's side, and he roared her and her lionesses away. Knowing this, Zira probably would have taken a different approach. She might have tried to take Kion out first, but I'm not sure if she would succeed at that. Even if she did continue with her original plan, Kion would have been able to blow out the fire in no time. But do you know what that means? That means that Kovu would never have been able to save Kiara. Kiara and Kovu would never have met again, or fallen in love. But what is even worse is that Zira would probably still be alive. She probably would have found other ways to plan her attacks. She might have started to look for other alliances, like Makucha and his leopards, to help her attack Simba. But you know who would also still be alive? Nuka. Because if Kovu never went on a walk with Simba, Zira and her lionesses would never be able to attack Simba. Nuka wouldn't have to follow him onto the logs, so he would still be here. Not that I think he would have been that great of a help for Zira, but he would still be there. Zira might have used him to attack Kion, since she would rather see Nuka get hurt than Kovu or Vitani. This means that Zira's group was probably never able to find peace with Simba's pride, which I think is pretty sad for them. But what is even worse about Kion not getting his scar is that he wouldn't have left the Pride Lands, which means that he would never have met Ascari. Ascari was the leader of the first Lion Guard, and his spirit lived on in Chica Escarpment, a place next to the Tree of Life. He knows everything about the roar since he was the one to discover it. In the version of the Lion Guard where Kion does get his scar, Ascari helps him to get control over the roar again. He helped him to truly master it after Kion realized he could also be a great leader without the roar. But if Kion never received his scar, I don't think he would ever get to realize that he can also lead without the roar. And besides, he would have never met Ascari and therefore never truly mastered the roar like he did now. He wouldn't be able to lift up rocks and break them in half. He might even lose control of the roar again when he would get angry, like when his mother got attacked. But this also means that Vitani would never become the leader of the new Lion Guard. She and her group would probably still be fighting against Kion's guard. But even worse is that if Kion never got his scar, it would also mean that he never met Rani. He would never get the chance to become her king and become the ruler of the Tree of Life. Seeing his sister Kiara as queen, well, this might have raised some jealousy inside Kion. But this would also suck for Rani because when we just met her, we can see how insecure she is about her future. And now it was almost time for her to take over the role of queen from her grandmother Jana. Queen Jana was old, and she was getting weaker by the day. She was preparing Rani for her new duties, But until Kion came, she didn't really seem so confident about becoming queen. But Kion wouldn't be the only one who wouldn't find their loved one, because Fuli and Banga had also met special animals in the version where Kion did get his scar. For Fuli, this was Azad, a cheetah they had met on their way to the Tree of Life. He loved to run fast, just like Fuli. But Banga had also found his perfect match. This was Binga. She was also the first honey badger Banga had ever met. But even though she was better at everything, like eating bugs and being stinkier, Banga still really liked her. But if Kion's scar never happened, would Fuli and Banga still be able to find love? And what would have happened to Makini? Would there come another reason for her to go to the Tree of Life, or would she eventually become the Pride Land's royal Mjuzi? To me, it doesn't seem like Rafiki is gonna put his stick down anytime soon. Or maybe Makini would drive him really crazy with all their talking, and he would retire more early. So, would Makini become more like a shadow of Rafiki, or would she have found another kingdom to help? You see, a lot more animals than you probably thought would feel the consequences of Kion not getting his scar. Like we just said, Zero's lionesses probably wouldn't find happiness, as well for Fuli and Banga, but also Makini and Vitani's paths would have been very different. They might never have discovered their true powers. But these are not even all the animals, because if Kion and his guard never had to go on their long journey to the Tree of Life, they wouldn't have made new friends either, and a lot of these new friends were having trouble with some sort of enemy, like the red pandas who were being attacked by their mountain ghost. They would have never known it was just a cruel snow leopard, Chilan. The same for Lumba Lumba, the pink dolphin, who is bothered by Aura and his Komodo dragon friends. If it weren't for the Lion Guard, they would probably still be getting attacked by them. Because near the ending of the Lion Guard series, we see how Kion roars all these annoying animals to a place far away. I think it's safe to say that it was good that Kion had gotten his scar. Most of the animals found their happy endings now, but we will never know how life in the Pride Lands would have been if Kion didn't get his scar. Would he have ended up with another lioness? Maybe Tifu or Zuri? Or would he have fallen in love with Fuli? Could one of them be a better match for Kion? Because some of you think that Rani might have only used him for his roar, and with some things that she said, I can understand that you might think that. But then again, if you want to know more about that, you should definitely check out my video about Kion and Rani's love story. But Kion not getting his scar would also have a big impact on Kiara's love story. Would she still be a happy queen? And would she have found a good king by her side? Would Kion have become jealous of her power? If Kion would get jealous, it could be that he wouldn't be able to control his roar anymore, and maybe the Sisi Nisawa from Scar was right after all. He could have used his roar for evil to throw Kiara from the throne. But more importantly for Kiara's story is what would happen to Kovu. Would he ever step over to the good side? I don't think he would have a reason to step over, or would ever be accepted. But I'm curious what you think, and if I have forgotten about something that would change in the Pride Lands if Kion would never have gotten his scar, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.